So we are planting green beans. I've got the rows laid out, double rows laid out. I've got my drip tape laid out, hooked up and tested. And I'm gonna plant green beans, but I'm gonna do it a little bit differently this year. And I think you might wanna do it this way too. Not sure, but you want to at least consider it. I've got a good reason for it, and I'll share that with you. Now normally I would just come through here with my seeder, and I've got a garden way seeder, and gosh, that's just the easiest way to plant anything: peas, beans, corn. However, when you plant with a seeder, you overplant and you have to come through and thin. Well, there's one reason I don't really like planting with a seeder, even though it's much more convenient to just run through there one time with a seeder and plant. But you got to come back through, kneel down or bend down, and thin out all the plants that came up that you don't want. They're too close together sometimes. Well, there's another reason this year, especially this year, that that doesn't seem like a good idea, and you may want to consider why it's not a good idea, and that is seed is very expensive. Now, I'm a some people call me a tightwad, but I'm austere. I'm going to come through here and I'm going to plant this by hand, even though it's a much more pain in the butt. I'm gonna plant it by hand, and I've got a little technique that I use that has just worked well for me over the years, and I want to show it to you. But we're gonna be planting double rows, 2 rows, 1 and 2. Got them marked out, drip tapes in the middle. Double rows of beans. These are contender green beans. Haas Tools has the right green beans for you, and they've got the contenders. So it's time to plant. In the South, it's time to plant beans, corn. Maybe a little early for corn, I'm not sure. I've got my rows laid out for my corn, but I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna plant. I may wait another few days just to see what the soil temperature comes up to. So when I'm using this method, what I'll normally do is get a piece of PVC, that's 3/4 PVC. This year I'm trying to put a funnel on it and see how that funnel works for feeding the seed down it, and don't have to actually hit the 3/4 inch. I can just drop it down in that funnel, and I believe that will make it a little bit better. So I'm also wearing a nail belt, or like you would get at the hardware store, and that makes carrying the seeds so much easier. You can reach in, they're right there. So we got it all planted. The last row, now this row right here is going to be okra, but that row right there, that last row, I planted a little bit closer together, probably 2 to 3 inches apart instead of 3 to 4 inches apart. We'll just see how that goes. Again, planting with a seeder, you do overplant, typically overplant, but it's considering that you've got maybe 80 or 90% germination rate, maybe that's not too terrible. But again, this year I'm thinking price, and seeds are high, and I know they're high for you, and so just trying to cut back. The third reason was I didn't think I had enough seed. I laid out my rows in my head, but I didn't really think about doing double rows. But when I'd already gotten the seed, and then I decided to do double rows, because I didn't think I had enough seed to run through there with the seeder. I thought it would plant too much and I'd be a little short, but I've got some left I can do in some earth boxes and just see how that works. I'm gonna do some experiments in that. They say you can plant peas and beans and everything in earth boxes too. So I'm gonna do something in earth boxes with beans probably. I know I will with some yard long beans and stuff like that, but I think I'm gonna do it even with a bush bean and just see how well they do in comparison with planting them in the dirt. I'll show you when they start coming up. They say sometimes it takes a week or two to start coming up, and always walk across it. Once I've planted it, I go back over it and just go heel to toe, and walk across it, step on the seed, and make sure it comes in good contact with the ground. I've got a compost thermometer stuck in my soil, and it shows about 65 degrees. And I would like for it to be a little warmer than that. So I'm thinking about planting the corn. I was going to plant it today, but I think I'm going to wait a day or two. And we're still going to have some cool nights in the 40s, but some days in the 70s, 75. Even next week, going to get into 80, 85, they say. So we'll see. But got the beans planted, contender bush beans, and then I'll plant some, again, some of those yard-long beans, and those are pole beans, and then some other things, climbing a trellis, that Hardinova trellis that Haas Tools has. If you're interested in some seed, Haas has the best. It really does. Has the best quality, has as good a variety as anyone else, and so check out Haas. I've got an affiliate link below the video. If you'd use that, I would be appreciative of it. It helps support the channel and lets Haas know that that I'm sending you there, and that their faith in me is well placed. So I would appreciate you using my affiliate link if you buy from Haas. So I'll show you when they start coming up, show you when I plant the corn here in a little while, and then it's on to the earth boxes. Start putting in tomatoes and peppers. I think we're ready. Again, I don't know. Just have to look at the weather report, but I think we're ready. You may want to try this. You may want to try just individual placing of peas and corn and things like that, because the seed is so expensive. A little harder to do. If you've got a seeder, it's a little tougher to do that way, but it's, could be worth it. Could be worth it as seeds continue to rise in price and just about everything else. All right, that's it. We're gone.